This isn't ancient history. People are still vanishing. 2022. 4 hikers disappeared in Yosemite. 1 found no memory of 3 days. 2023. Child vanished Crater Lake. Found 8 miles away, speaking about the tall man in the trees. 2024. Experienced ranger missing during routine patrol. Never found. Over 1,600 documented cases. Thousands more likely unreported. A pattern so clear, it's impossible to ignore. So what's really happening in America's national parks? Hunting grounds for something we don't understand? Doorways to somewhere we can't see? Or are we just not at the top of the food chain when we're alone in the wilderness? The Park Service says it's all coincidence. David Paulides says there's a pattern. The families just want answers. And maybe that's the most terrifying part. We might never get them. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, Asaikiki. Subscribe for more mysteries. Next week, the Phoenix Lights military cover-up. Until then, if you're heading to a national park, stay on the trail. So what's really happening? Theory 1. Wild animals. Bears, mountain lions, wolves. But predators leave evidence. Blood, torn clothing, tracks. These cases don't. Theory 2. Human trafficking. Organized groups in remote areas. But this doesn't explain children found alive miles away with no memory or impossible distances. Theory 3. Cave systems. Unexplored caves people fall into. Explains some cases. But not bodies on mountain peaks, not folded clothing, not dogs refusing to track. Theory 4, something else. This is where David Paulides stops theorizing. He presents data, patterns. He doesn't say what's taking people, maybe because saying it sounds insane. Cryptids, Sasquatch, interdimensional beings. Sounds crazy, right? But Native American tribes have stories. Stories about the people who steal. Areas where you don't go alone, stories that existed long before national parks. Maybe they knew something we've forgotten. Here's what makes this more suspicious. The National Park Service resists transparency. No centralized database, no public tracking. Freedom of information requests denied or heavily redacted. When Paulides asked why, response was, "We don't want to create public fear." But isn't that more terrifying? That they know something and aren't telling us? The parks are safe, they say. Just stay on the trail. But what if staying on the trail is exactly what they want? What if trails are the only safe places? What if there's a reason they don't want you wandering off? June 14th, 1969. Great Smoky Mountains, Tennessee. 6-year-old Dennis Martin was camping with his family for Father's Day. He was playing with his brother and friends. They decided to hide and scare their parents. The parents were only 50 feet away. Dennis went behind the bush and never came out. What happened next became the largest search in national park history. 1,400 people. FBI, military, bloodhounds, helicopters, 10 days straight. They found nothing, not a shoe, not a piece of clothing. But here's what makes this truly disturbing. A family nearby reported seeing a rough-looking man moving quickly through the forest, hiding behind trees. The witness said, "He looked wrong, like he didn't belong there." Park rangers dismissed the sighting, searched the opposite direction. Dennis Martin was never found. A 6-year-old boy vanished 50 feet from his family in broad daylight. Now these cases go from tragic to impossible. When bodies are found, they're in places that make no sense. Toddlers 12 miles away over mountains they couldn't climb. Elderly people at elevations that would exhaust trained athletes. 3-year-olds across rivers they couldn't swim. And the clothing, often neatly folded or missing or inside out. The Park Service calls this paradoxical undressing, hypothermia symptom. But that doesn't explain summer cases, warm weather, or why clothes are folded. Example, February 1952. 2-year-old Keith Parkins vanished from his Oregon backyard during a snowstorm. 4 days later, found 12 miles away, up a mountain, across a frozen river. He was alive. Normal body temperature, no frostbite, no dehydration. 2-year-old survived 4 days in freezing temperatures, perfectly fine. When asked what happened, Keith said, "The fuzzy man carried me." July 4th, 2015, Yosemite National Park. 23-year-old hiker Sarah Thompson sent her last text message at 2:47 p.m. It read, "Something's following me." 3 hours later, search teams found her backpack. Her phone was inside, still on, battery at 87%. But Sarah? Gone. No footprints. No signs of struggle, no body. She vanished into thin air. But here's what they don't tell you. She's not the first. Since 1958, over 1,600 people have disappeared in America's national parks. That's not a typo. 1,600 people. And these aren't just missing persons cases. These are disappearances that defy logic. When former police detective David Paulides tried to get a list from the National Park Service, they told him no such list exists. Think about that. The government tracks everything, your taxes, traffic tickets, library books, but people vanishing in federally controlled land? We don't keep records. So Paulides spent years digging through police reports and news archives. What he found is a pattern so disturbing it's impossible to ignore. After documenting over 1,600 cases, Paulides discovered something chilling. These disappearances follow a pattern. Pattern 1. The victims. Most are either very young children or highly experienced outdoorsmen. The most vulnerable and the most capable. Pattern 2. The weather. Severe weather hits within hours. Storms that wash away evidence, rain that destroys scent trails. Pattern 3. The dogs. Trained search dogs refuse to track. They sit down, won't move forward, where the scent just stops as if the person was lifted straight up. Pattern 4. The locations. Disappearances cluster around granite boulder fields and water. Bodies found near water, even when it wasn't part of the search area. Coincidence? Let me show you a case.